The wait is over. The moment the entire global investment community has been holding its breath for has finally, officially, and undeniably arrived. In a historic publication that has just rocked the financial world, the Iraqi Gazette, the official record for all government legislation and announcements, has confirmed the final exchange rules for the Iraqi Dinar, setting the definitive stage for 2025. This isn't speculation. This isn't analyst conjecture or rumor from a fringe forum. This is the Central Bank of Iraq, through the most formal and legally binding channel possible, laying down the law of the land for how the transition of the IQD will be managed, and the implications are so profound they are difficult to fully comprehend in a single sitting. For decades, the dinar has been a story of potential, a narrative built on the ashes of conflict and the promise of a nation sitting atop one of the world's largest oil reserves finally taking its rightful place in the global economic order. That narrative has now transcended theory and entered the realm of legal and operational fact. The official framework is no longer a draft, no longer a proposal debated behind closed doors. It is now the published, inviolable protocol that will govern the next chapter of Iraq's financial history. The document, as confirmed, provides the exhaustive and meticulous blueprint for the exchange process, detailing everything from the authorized financial institutions, both domestic and international, that will be permitted to facilitate the conversions, to the specific documentation required by holders of the currency to prove legitimacy and origin of their assets. It outlines the phased approach that will likely be undertaken, prioritizing domestic stability first by allowing Iraqi citizens to exchange their old currency for new notes or digital equivalents, thereby managing money supply and liquidity from the ground up before opening the floodgates to the immense volume of foreign-held dinar. This careful, methodical rollout is a masterclass in mitigating hyperinflation and avoiding the kind of economic shock that could undermine the entire project's goals. The rules also explicitly address the long-anticipated process of redenomination, clarifying how the technical act of removing zeros from the currency's face value will be seamlessly integrated with its functional revaluation against benchmark currencies like the US dollar. This dual process is critical. It's not just about making the currency easier to use for everyday Iraqis by turning thousands of dinar for a loaf of bread into a single dinar, but it is simultaneously about fundamentally re-anchoring its international worth, decoupling it from the artificial constraints that have held it down for so long. The confirmation of these rules signals the absolute end of the old monetary system and the irrevocable beginning of the new. It tells the world that Iraq's banking and anti-money laundering infrastructures have been vetted, upgraded, and deemed robust enough to handle the scrutiny of the international financial system. It is a declaration of sovereignty and a passport into the community of stable, economically powerful nations. The very publication of these rules in the Gazette is the loudest statement the Central Bank of Iraq could possibly make. There is no turning back. The countdown clock that many felt was a theoretical construct now has a definitive, official timer, and it is ticking down to a transformation that will be studied in economics textbooks for generations to come. The patience of investors is now being met with the concrete proof they have sought, transforming hope into a tangible, actionable financial reality. The foundation has been poured, the structure is defined, and all that remains is the execution of a plan that has now been etched into the official record of the nation, setting the scene for a financial event that will ripple across every corner of the globe, redistributing wealth and opportunity on a scale that is rarely seen outside of monumental historical events like the end of a world war or the discovery of a new continent. So, what does this official, confirmed framework mean for you, the dinar holder, the astute investor who saw the potential years ago and is now positioned to witness the culmination of that foresight? It means the abstraction is over and the era of practical, logistical action has begun. The published rules move the conversation from if and when to the far more critical how and where. The key requirements detailed in this document are your new checklist for success, the non-negotiable prerequisites that will determine whether your exchange process is a smooth, efficient transaction or a tangled web of bureaucratic delays. First and foremost, the rules place a paramount emphasis on documentation and provenance. This is the global financial system's way of separating legitimate investment from speculative chaos. You will need to have your original purchase certificates, the receipts from the authorized dealers where you acquired your dinar, readily available and in perfect order. These documents are your proof of a legal, traceable transaction, and they will be scrutinized to comply with international anti-money laundering and counter-terrorism financing standards that Iraq must now meet. The days of anonymous, unverified currency exchanges for large sums are gone, and this Gazette publication is the final nail in that coffin. For those who purchased their dinar through less formal or poorly documented channels, the time to seek professional financial and legal advice is now, not the day the exchange centers open. The rules also clarify the critical role of the authorized redemption centers, which will not be every local bank branch on your street corner, but a network of specific, pre-approved domestic banks in Iraq, major international banking partners, and possibly designated international currency hubs. Understanding which of these centers you are eligible to use based on your citizenship and the size of your holding is crucial. The process for a U.S. citizen, for instance, will likely be different from that of a citizen of Jordan or a citizen of Iraq itself. The rules hint at a tiered system, where smaller, retail-level exchanges can be handled through certain international partners, while larger, institutional-level holdings may require a more direct engagement with the primary financial architecture in Baghdad or a major global financial capital like London or Zurich. Furthermore, the confirmed 2025 plan from the Central Bank of Iraq shatters the remaining skepticism about the nation's commitment to this reform. This isn't an isolated monetary policy. It is the central pillar of a broader, comprehensive economic overhaul that includes vast infrastructure projects, oil and gas law reforms, and strategic partnerships with global economic powers. The revaluation of the dinar is the engine for this transformation, and the exchange rules are the ignition key. By making the rules public, Iraq is signaling to institutions like the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank that it is ready to play by the rules of the international financial system, and in return, it expects and will receive the stability and confidence that comes with full integration. This move directly impacts global currency markets by introducing a new, asset-backed, hydrocarbon-rich currency into the forex landscape, potentially challenging the dominance of petrocurrencies and offering a new safe haven asset for diversifying portfolios. Experts who have been cautiously optimistic are now unequivocal. This publication marks the final administrative and legal stage before full RV activation. All the pieces are now on the board. The legislation has been passed, the monetary policy has been defined, and the public operational manual has been issued. The only remaining steps are the physical logistics of distributing new currency and flipping the switch, events that are now considered a formality following this earth-shattering announcement. As we stand on the precipice of this historic financial recalibration, the confirmation of the final exchange rules transforms every dinar holder from a passive spectator into an active participant in one of the most significant wealth transfer events of the modern era. The information contained within the Iraqi Gazette is your map, and the time to study it is now, before the global rush begins. The clarity provided by these rules eliminates the last vestiges of uncertainty and replaces it with a clear, actionable pathway. This is the moment where knowledge separates those who merely benefit from those who thrive. The official confirmation means that the sophisticated financial players, the large investment funds, and the global banking institutions are now also activating their own well-prepared plans. They have teams of analysts dissecting every clause of this document, and they are moving with precision and purpose. This is not a time for hesitation or for getting lost in the final wave of disinformation that often emerges at the climax of a long-anticipated event. Your advantage lies in your early awareness and your ability to understand the nuances of this process ahead of the mainstream crowd. The coming days and weeks will be filled with media coverage, financial news segments, and a frenzy of online activity, but you, having received this information now, are ahead of that curve. You have the opportunity to prepare your documents, to research your designated redemption center, to consult with a trusted financial advisor to understand the tax implications and wealth management strategies for your post-revaluation life. This is about more than just exchanging one currency for another. It is about managing a sudden, substantial increase in personal capital. It's about having a plan for that capital that encompasses debt elimination, strategic investment in tangible assets, philanthropic goals, and generational wealth creation. The activation of the RV will send shockwaves through markets, creating unique investment opportunities in Iraqi reconstruction projects, regional stock markets, and commodity sectors. Being prepared allows you to act with clarity and confidence when those opportunities arise, rather than being overwhelmed by the sheer scale of the change. This event is the culmination of a long and patient journey for many, and it deserves a conclusion that is as well managed and intentional as the investment itself. The Republic of Iraq, through this courageous and transformative act, is not just rebuilding its economy. It is offering a partnership to those who believed in its potential. It is inviting you to be a part of its future. The rules are published. The path is clear. The historic revaluation is no longer a speculative dream. It is a confirmed, scheduled, and legally defined reality. The world is about to change, and you are positioned at the very forefront of that change. Do not let this moment pass you by. Do not be the person who looks back and wonders what could have been if only they had been prepared. The information is in your hands. The responsibility to act on it is now yours. This is more than a financial event. It is a test of vision and a reward for foresight. Ensure you are ready to claim your part in the new economic dawn that is breaking over Iraq and the entire world. The final chapter of this story is being written right now, and you have the power to ensure your chapter has a victorious and prosperous ending. This is your call to action. This is your moment. Seize it with both hands, prepare with purpose, and get ready to step into the future you envisioned when you first made this investment. The official starting pistol has fired. The information is now in your hands. This is the crucial juncture where knowledge transforms into power and action. Do not let this historic moment be something you watch from the sidelines. Your journey with the Iraqi Dinar has been long, and this is the final, official confirmation you have been waiting for. To ensure you do not miss a single, critical update as this situation evolves minute by minute, whether it's the official announcement of the activation date, the list of international redemption centers, or expert analysis on how to navigate the exchange process for maximum benefit, you must take action right now. Subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell, because the next video could contain the announcement that changes everything. We are your dedicated source for accurate, timely, and unfiltered information straight from the source. Share your thoughts and level of preparedness in the comments below. I read them all. Let's navigate this final, exciting chapter together. Stay informed, stay ready, and may your foresight be rewarded.